Hello, everyone. This is your market update for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. We got ADP employment for January. It came in at 22,000, softer than the anticipated 45,000, but frankly, not a bad number. Over to the charts. This is a weekly chart of the dollar. My working assumption has been that we made a 3-year cycle low here in September and that we have a failed or a left translated cycle, which is very bearish if this is indeed the case. To change my mind, I would need to see the current rally take out the prior breakdown below the 3-year cycle low. So it would have to get a couple weekly closes above the 100 level. Otherwise, I think we are in the beginning phases of a significant downtrend that could probably last until late 2027 or 2028. If we line up the prior 3-year cycle lows, we'll see that September 2024 lined up nicely, and that if that is the case and this is a failed cycle, we're probably going to see a downtrend until late 2027 or early 2028. How low it goes is anybody's guess, but I think we could probably see the mid 80s at least. Over to gold, currently trading at $5,065, had that sharp correction. Again, my working assumption is that this is just a mid cycle shakeout before we see a final blow off top. Now, if we look at the 1979 mid-cycle shakeout, it I'll put it up here so we can see it better. We had a sharp decline, a rebound, and then prices came down to retest and break marginal new lows before the uptrend resumed. So if we saw something similar to that, this could be this little brief bounce before prices continue a little bit lower to make maybe fresh lows later this month or into early March before the uptrend resume. Now, this on scale says prices could get up to 8, 9, or even 10,000. I don't know that we'll see prices go that high. I bet we'll see 7,000 to maybe 8,000 if this is indeed the case. But right now, we just got to see how prices shake out in February, and if this can maintain the momentum we've had thus far into 2026. A sustained breakdown below Monday's low, below, say, 4,400, that meanders and continues to break below the October high, then I'd say this is probably a more significant correction taking place and that this top could last for several quarters. Over to silver, currently trading at $90.56, getting a nice rebound here. We could see something similar. So we could have an initial rebound, and then prices may come back down to test these lows. I really want to see prices hold $70. If we see a sustained breakdown below $70, then I think we could maybe see a retest of the breakout around $50 to $55, which I think would be a good buying opportunity. And there's probably a lot of physical silver buyers that would love to see that. And for that reason alone, I think we might not get that because there are a lot of people itching to buy and wishing they could have bought it at $50. So the way market works sometimes, you might not get that opportunity. So my guess is we're going to consolidate here and then work our way back up. And if this continues to blow off like I think it could, I think we're probably going to see 200 or maybe even a little higher in April and possibly May before this finally tops out. Platinum currently trading at $2,276, getting a bounce here at the 50-day EMA. I'm not convinced the low is in just yet. Prices could continue to work their way higher, or we could revisit these lows later this month. But if I'm right about gold and silver and we see one more blow off top, I think this could probably go to 4,000 or higher in the second quarter. Over to GDX, finished up yesterday, 4.28%. I wanted to point out that we technically haven't even broken the trend line here, the cycle trend line. Usually, during a mid-cycle pullback, we'll at least break below the cycle trend line briefly before the uptrend resumes, which could be occurring maybe mid-month. So we had something similar here. It had an uptrend into October, broke the cycle trend line, found a low a few days later, and then the uptrend resumed. So I'm not convinced the low is in here in miners. And as I said before, as long as we hold the October highs around $84.50, I'm still looking for more upside, at least one more push before a more significant correction Lastly, over to Bitcoin, this is futures. I wanted to point out we had this breakdown. I'm getting some alerts here. We had this breakdown below this trend line here. Some could argue that this is a head and shoulders topping pattern. The left shoulder here, the head here, and then the right shoulder here. The right shoulder isn't very well developed, in my opinion, but it still could make the case for a head and shoulders, which would target a minimum if you take the height of the head to the neckline, and then you add that to the breakout, that would suggest prices are going to probably at least 51,000 potentially on this downturn. So that would be my guess. Near-term target, maybe we can get into the low 50s, but overall, I'm not expecting a bottom probably until October. And again, I think we could see maybe 40,000, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but overall, I'm looking for maybe 40,000 in probably the fourth quarter. So that's it for now. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.